Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, it's 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗲. Thank you for coming. In today's video, this is something that I always guys, I always get information from the internet and you guys send me stuff. So we are here to have a conversation. And so let's watch the video and let's talk about it.
So when I hear people telling me today, oh, Africa is poor because of colonization, I'm like, please, let's move on from that. Does it have maybe a tiny percentage in where we are today? Maybe, and I don't know. But I know it's not the cause. Because if it were, many countless countries have been colonized before. And by the way, colonizing one another is humanity's history. But the truth is, Singapore, richer than Great Britain today. And then Hong Kong happened. And then because Hong Kong happened, China even today happened. Because China's like, wait a minute, what went on over there? And then China went on to do the exact same thing with its SEZs.
Well, guys, as you've seen in the video, this is exactly what we should talk about as Africans, as Black people. Especially when it comes to Africans. You've heard the lady Washa said, I personally am always really tired about us complaining about colonization, which is still maybe happening. I would say yes. Colonization really put us back, laid us back. But what this lady is saying is it's always about colonization. It's always about white people. It's always about other people. And we forget to look into ourselves. I'm here and I always tell us as people, we as Africans, including myself, to look into ourselves, into our countries, into our communities, into our families, and see, are we any different from the people that we are saying that are oppressing us? First of all, I come from Uganda. My country, Uganda, when it comes to side story, let's say voting, we have a lot of tribes or different tribes, like 35, I would say, and then different languages. In those tribes, people are not even willing to vote someone who is going to do something good for them. They mostly sometimes vote because of a tribe. This is our person. This is a problem. We don't vote. We don't do things out of logic. But then when things don't work out well for us, and then we look up to how white people are a problem. I would say maybe 40% it's a white issue, but the 60% is mostly an African issue. Let me give an example. Watch this clip.
In Zimbabwe now faces is the Gold Mafia.
Al Jazeera's investigative unit infiltrates the rival gangs that control Africa's gold.
As long as you grease the wheels in Africa, there's no issue.
That's Mugabe. Oh, Mugabe. That's me. I got the award as Lifetime Africa Achievement Award. This is Uganda.
That's you.
This is me.
Patni was made a peace ambassador by the Kenyan Council of Elders.
There's no position like that in the country. It was just one position that was never filled in. And
it's created for you.
Yeah, it was created.
So one and only one.
We are the government.
Yeah.
So I can call the president now, not tomorrow, now, and put him on speaker. It's not an issue. The president's trying to create a legacy right now. Yeah. So it is the right time to strike now and go like we're in. Okay, let me just say, don't worry. You'll be president. Don't worry about it. This president will be president until he dies. That's what I get your word.
Yeah, that is Zimbabwe. That's Africa. This person is a pastor. Yeah, and that's why I also say religions, whether Islam or Christianity, are also a big impact when it comes to how Africans function. They are more of receive than using logic. It's always believe than to act. And that is a problem. This man is a pastor, but he's a diplomat. At some sense, he was appointed by the president of Zimbabwe. He's called Prophet Angel of Zimbabwe. If you go on Google right now or on any social media platform, you're going to see what he did. He was investigated by the Al Jazeera group, and they wanted to see how African resources are smuggled into the outside world. And so when they met with him, he had the power that whatever he says, the president has confirmed. He doesn't need to talk to the president or any other official. As a pastor, He just has to sign something because he is like the second hand of the president of Zimbabwe. And guys, in a week, just a week, he was smuggling 100 kilograms of gold, tons of gold from Zimbabwe. And you want to tell me it's a white problem? No. Let's be real. We have leaders in my country, Uganda, when they are appointed, whether they are from opposition or they are the ones in governance, when they get in positions, they don't care anymore. They really don't care. We have things that need to be fixed in my country, Uganda, like the situation of homosexuality. It's now a big deal on how sex is important right now, but Ugandan hospitals don't have medication. Our children are not been studying since 2020 in a proper curriculum. Since 2020, COVID times, we are in 2023. Our children have been repeating classes. They've been failing classes. The education is now shitty. It's horrible. And I'm Ugandan, and I don't have to sugarcoat what is really happening in my country. That's what is happening. But they are showing you how sex is more important than fixing things in our country. We have gold. Recently, we discovered, watch this clip, guys.
$13 trillion worth of gold has just been found in the country of Uganda. This deposit is said to contain 31 million metric tons of gold, ready to be mined and distributed. But despite all this gold being discovered, the mining difficulty is so notably high. It's estimated that only around 2,500 to 3,000 metric tons will be able to be mined each year.
We discovered gold in Uganda. We don't know what happened to that gold. We didn't see any agreements. We don't know what the president discussed with America. And then there are the same people that are saying they are chasing away United Nations from Uganda. The president of Uganda chased away United Nations from Uganda, but he made deals with the United States over gold. And Ugandans don't even know what's going on with the gold. I personally don't know what they conversed about our gold as Ugandans. We have oil in Uganda still that was discovered, and we still don't know what is happening with our oil. You want to tell me it's still a white problem? No, like, I want us as Africans to stop. I'm not trying to say it's not an issue that white people are involved, but if you're saying that our leaders are puppets, that means Africa is never going to have people that love its continent. That means we are going to keep crying and blaming. We are not going to ever develop if we are not willing as Black people to rise up and connect and empower ourselves, but just talk and talk and talk the way I'm doing right now. Nothing is ever going to change, because let me tell you guys, no evolution, no revolution has ever happened in history before from any other race or group of people by just talking. And that is the reality of it. I'm not inciting any violence, but that is something that we Africans know. Black people know it, but because we know the cost of what it takes to reach that position, we gaslight it, and then we want to blame white people. Because let me tell you guys, Russia is coming to Africa. China is coming to Africa. France has been in Africa and is controlling things in Africa. Why don't African leaders chase away those people from Africa? Why? Because if we are willing to still invite these people, our leaders are going to sign things that we don't know about what's going on to the resources of our countries. We are still going to cry. These people, the leaders, ourselves as Africans, we don't want to see ourselves exceed in life. When our leaders get sick, they travel to the West to get medication. When our leaders or rich people produce children, they send them to the West to have good life and education. So I don't blame when Putin said Africa is a cemetery. Maybe it is actually. Maybe it is. Actually, I think it is. Because if we are going to just keep on saying colonization, colonization, okay, what is going to happen after? When are we going to change? When is it going to stop? Because if we are also saying, you know, the problem is white people. Okay, if the problem is white people, why aren't our leaders getting these white people that are a problem away from Africa? Can a white person come and tell you what to do if the leader or the governments that we have didn't accept it to happen? The same way when they come and take pictures of our children in slums and then they go and post them. If we had rules, if we had like regulations on people from abroad, do you think Africa would still be the same way it is today? Guys, let's reflect. I want us to really reflect. Like, we have pastors that call congregations of people and ask them for money. They only want to take and give you hope. Yes, so I would say colonization, religion, and our ignorance as Africans, or maybe we are just naive, is the problem today. It's really not a lot of white people today, because we know. Our generation now knows what's really going on. We are not our parents. Our parents didn't have the opportunity to really understand what was going on because everything was fed to them through television. Ask yourself, why is it that Congo has a president, but I've never seen Congolese president come out to say anything? I've never seen the president of Sudan come out and say what is happening. Our president himself is just talking about how homosexuality is a problem, but not talking about how prisoners that he arrested in 2020 elections are still in prison dying. He's not talking about how people are being taken from their houses and kidnapped by police. He's not talking about the issues that are really affecting Ugandans, but he's showing you how he's more concerned about sex. Let's stop. I'm an African, but I will not come to you here today and tell you whatever is happening in Africa is a white issue. Because those white people come and sign agreements with Africans. They don't just come and take. They need to pass through some ways of documentation to get access to our resources. Our resources don't just live like that. Like you saw the video, the president of Zimbabwe himself just gave power to his corrupt pastor together. And what's the right word, guys? I don't even know what is the right word to like explain this pain that I'm feeling, because Africans are really in pain. We need things to be put into our countries. We need infrastructures. We need things to be fixed in our countries. And you look at these people that we put into power. You look at these people that come at you and they're acting like they even know God. And they are stealing resources of everybody. We have rights to every resource that we have in our countries. But imagine selling 100 grams of kilograms of gold in a week and nothing was done in Zimbabwe. You know, that money could build hospitals, could change the lives of people in Zimbabwe. And then Africans want to come out and blame white people all the time, when it's our own leaders, our own people in control. Because even regular Africans also, we are not really to blame, because we don't even know how these leaders that we vote for work in their positions. Because let me tell you, if you have your children today, they are not going to benefit or have any inheritance of the country. But the children of the leaders that you have, they are going to have a lot of wealth, generational wealth, because those leaders are stealing from the country. That's the same concept that white people used in America. And it's the same concept that our African people are using on us. And then we want to gaslight it and say it's an issue of white people. No. Yes, we were taken back. I accept. Some structures almost structures that we have were given to us. But what is stopping us from fixing them in 2023? What? And the lady was also comparing Singapore to Africa. That is kind of insulting to me. There's no way you're going to compare one Soviet state to a whole continent of 54 countries. And those 54 countries have different cultures, different rules, and different ways of living. So for her to compare a single state with a continent is really disturbing to hear. It looks really arrogant and ignorant at the same time to me. That's what I don't accept. And for the people that have been ruling us for a very long time, which are white people or other races of people, of course, they cannot let us just grow and develop out of nowhere, because if we develop, we are going to have strong rules, we are going to have strong regulations that won't let them be able to come into our countries and benefit off of us. And so you need to also look into Africa. Most countries that have resources are the countries that have a lot of corruption. What's the way forward? I always ask you guys, what's the way forward? Are we just going to keep on blaming and blaming and blaming and nothing is getting done, and then our leaders are just going to benefit and create wealth for their future descendants? As civilians, as citizens, are just going to stay there open like, you know what, it's a white problem. Is it really a white problem? That was it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Guys, please comment and really tell me what you really think. Is Africa really the way it is because of colonization? Is it really because of colonization in 2023? Let me know, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.